Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation.
Shalom, 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 Yasharal and Yahudah. Grafted in Gentiles, the body of Mashiach. We praise Yahuah Elohaykem for the witness. The Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood. The Most High woke me up this morning and I started praising and praying. And just thanking him like I do normally, just praying and interceding for the mishpach, right? Interceding for all those who hear the word of Yahuah at my lips, right? Not that I am anything except for what he has created me to be, an orator, a sharer of his Torah, a man who needs mercy, a man who believes in the mercy of you, right? And as I prayed for the mishpach, called out certain names that resonate in my Ruach, and for the mishpach at large, right? Yahuah kept saying, sharing, revealing, right, to me that he's faithful. He's faithful, right? And unless you make up in your mind that Yahuah is faithful, this walk is going to always be a struggle. Yahuah is faithful, right? And you have to demonstrate your trust and his faithfulness. If you are obedient, right? If you follow Torah, right? If you have been born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Yahuah is committed to you. He is faithful to you. I have over my life been witness to personal experiences that demonstrates Yahuah's faithfulness. I have. I can share those with you, right, as testimonies, right, to the faithfulness of you, right? And my hopes in sharing is to make a connection between you and Yahuah. One in which states that if he can do it for him, then he can do it for me. What did he do that bring forth Yahuah's faithfulness? Was he perfect? No. But he loved Yahuah. Did he make mistakes? Yeah. but he loved Yahuah. He understood the necessity of repentance from turning and walking in line with Torah, a people called by his name. Yahuah has always demonstrated to me his faithfulness. He's faithful, right? If Yahuah has a covenant with you, if you are in covenant with Yahuah, he promises to be faithful. I've had experiences, personal experience of Yahuah's faithfulness. I know that Yahuah is faithful. I could be down to my last dime. I know that Yahuah is faithful. I may not have everything at any given time that I think I need, but Yahuah is faithful. See, because I recognize the truth of Torah, right? I understand the truth of Torah, the revelation of this revealed truth. Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, right? The 7th chapter. Why is Yahuah faithful? Why is Yahuah faithful to you? I can tell you why he's faithful to me. It should hold true for you as well, because it's all predicated on covenant. If you are in covenant with him, he's established a blood oath. Yahushua HaMashiach's witness, his sacrifice, his blood offered on the altar in the Shamayim covenant. Deuteronomy 7:1. And when Yahuah thy Elohim shall bring you into the land whither thou goest to possess, and has cast out many nations before you, the Hittites, the Gershites, the Ammonites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations greater, right, and mightier than thou. Why would you do this? Because he made a covenant, an agreement, an oath. It was sealed in blood, sprinkled with blood and water. Covenant. And when Yahuah thy Elohim shall deliver these nations before thee, and shall smite them and utterly destroy them, thou shalt make no covenants with them, nor show mercy unto them. See, Yahuah gave them land, property, gave them land. And he took nations that were diabolically wicked and destroyed them, removed them. And no, not all of them. The children of Israel were supposed to go in and remove everybody, but they didn't. And Yahuah says, okay, I'm going to let them stay around as a thorn. Covenant. He removed situations. He straightened out circumstances. He demonstrated his power, his ability to eradicate. Right? Eradicate. This is it. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them, thy daughters thou shalt not give unto thy sons, his sons, nor his daughters shalt thou take unto thy sons. For they will turn thy sons from following me, that they may serve other else. See, Yahuah removed the nation of Asherah from the dominion of Pharaoh's darkness and idolatry, and brought them into the light, the fire by day and the moon by night. He brought them under a covenant, right? A covenant of protection. They needed to understand that there were things that were not acceptable. And if you could stand and obey and keep Torah with your whole heart, then Yahuah promised perpetual protection, perpetual blessings, and not curses. He says, for they will turn thy sons from following me, that they may serve other else, and so will the anger of Yahuah be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. He was faithful. You were faithful. Oh, so faithful. You were faithful. Oh, so faithful. What a privilege and an honor to worship at your throne, to be called into your presence as your own. See. Yahuah's put forth a demonstration of faithfulness. And then when he brings you out, he expects you to remember. Because Yahuah is faithful. He has a pattern, a demonstration, a pattern of faithfulness. He left us a record of covenant, established through Avraham. Jacob's name is written in the Shamayim. He's faithful to those who keep covenant with him. He said, so will the anger of Yahuah be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall Thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images. You must turn away from idols. You must turn away from those things that you put more confidence in than Yahuah. You must understand that this covenant demands it. Walking with Yahuah demands obedience. Walking with Yahuah demands putting him above all other else because he's faithful. He said, and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. All things are purged with fire. We're talking about the faithfulness of Yahuah, which has everything to do with your faithfulness to him. If you have a covenant with Yahuah, and you keep covenant with Yahuah, your demonstration is faithfulness. And he rewards your faithfulness because he is faithful. He says, thou art an holy people unto Yahuah. Kodesh. Set apart people. Now, if you look at Asherah, collectively as a nation, still in the hands of our captivity, still serving elves, pledging our allegiance to these elves, living for these elves. We are far from being holy people. You see, there are those that have stepped into this covenant in faith, believing in the power of the blood of Mashiach Yevuciym, believing in the power of the blood of our kinsman redeemer, believing in the power of this covenant. We are his people. We are his people. And because we've accepted his name, we are called by his name. Because we've accepted that at that name, Yahushua, salvation, every knee's going to bow. We've accepted this Yeshua. We freely received of this covenant. Nobody twisted our arms to be born again. Nobody twisted our arms to get in the water and be baptized. No one twisted our arm. We freely entered into this covenant. We chose to become his people. Now we understand that Yahuah chooses those whom he chooses. But we actively participated, right, by virtue of our confession unto repentance, which brought us under his dominion. Took us out of the world, though we're in the world. In the world, but not of the world. That's why they don't know you. You operate on a higher plane. You operate under the Ruach HaKodesh, the Torah, and the Bezor of truth. And because of this, Yahuah is faithful. He said, thou art a holy people unto Yahuah thy Elohim. Yahuah hath chosen thee to be a special people. Now, Yahuah has a people, a nation, right? He has a covenant with Asherah, right? The 12 tribes. They will not be disowned. They will not be usurped. Just what it is, right? But Yahuah also has provided covenant to all those that who chooses, whom he's chosen, and who chooses this road of salvation through faith in Hamashiach Yevuciym. They come under a covenant. They become that people that have received this truth, this Torah. Chosen people, special unto him. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Asherah and Yahudah. He said, Yahuah did not set his love upon you or chose you because you were more in number than any people. For you were the fewest of all people. Jacob took his family into Mitzrayim, 70 deep. He was Yahuah's. They were Yahuah's people. 70. Over time, they became a number. Substantial number. Coming out of Mitzrayim. A mixed multitude. Coming out of Mitzrayim. Still a small number in comparison to every other number of people. It says here, but because Yahuah loved you, he made a covenant with Abraham. Abraham obeyed Yahuah. He recognized Yahuah's love language. He became faithful. And Yahuah was faithful to Abraham. Abraham's seed, Yitzhak's seed, Jacob. Jacob's seed, the 12 sons. Says, but because Yahuah loved you, and because he would keep an oath. See, Yahuah, when Yahuah agrees to establishes a covenant, it becomes an oath, something that is held up, written down, forever eternal oath. It says here, which he swore unto our fathers, an oath. Abraham, an oath to Yitzhak, an oath to Jacob, right? It's sworn to your fathers, having Yahuah brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim. Yahuah, delivering the nation out of bondage because of a covenant, an agreement that he made with their fathers. Know therefore Yahuah thy Elohah, he is Yahuah Elohaykem, the faithful, Elohah, right? Faithful, right? Yahuah is faithful, right? Strong's
H539. A man.
He is to support Hebrew, to confirm, to be faithful, to stand firm, to trust, to be certain, to believe in. Yahuah is faithful, right? Yahuah is faithful, right? Merriam-Webster's definition, right? Yahuah is loyal. Faithful adjective as loyal. Firm in one's alliance to someone or something. Yahuah is fair to us. He has an allegiance with our fathers. Yahuah is faithful. Yahuah is not a man that he should do anything other than what his oath requires, what his oath demands. Know that Yahuah thy Elohah, he is faithful Elohah, and he keeps his agreements. He keeps his covenant of mercy. He keeps his covenant, keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him. The demonstration of his love language, keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. I have a covenant with Yahuah. And if you have a covenant with Yahuah, you need to know that he is faithful. You need to know that he is faithful. You need to understand that he can be trusted. Can't nobody do that for you but you and him. And if you're his, if you're in the world but not of the world, if you have received him and become sons and daughters, if you've been translated from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of his dear son, if you are seated together in heavenly places in the Mashiach Yevuciym, right? That his promise is to be faithful. He's faithful, right? Ephesians 1 and 3, in whom ye put your trust in. After that, you heard the word of truth, right? The good news of Yeshua. in whom also after you believed, after you entered into covenant with Yahuah by the receiving of this witness, right? You were sealed with the Ruach HaKodesh upon us. You are his. You wear his seal. This is the earnest of your inheritance unto the redemption of the purchased possession. This is his down payment to you. This covenant, this Ruach HaKodesh, this seal, this which separates you in the world. It makes you not of the world. You are his. Who has commitment to you to be faithful because he is sworn by himself. He has made an oath. You demonstrate his love language. You obey his word. You do the things that please him. He has to be faithful because he has to be true to his word. He's not going to change who he is. His demonstration is going to always be righteous. It's always going to be righteous. Which is the earnest of your inheritance until the redemption of the purchased possession to the praise of his glory. Where also after I heard of your faith and Yevuciym, Yahuwah, and for everyone else, the other saints, the other Kodashim, the others that have received this same witness. I cease not to give thanks for you, making mention of you in prayers, that the allure of Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, the Father of glory, may give unto you the Ruach HaKodesh of wisdom and revelation, the revealed knowledge of him, that you may see how faithful he is. The eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that you may see, that ye may know what is the hope of your calling and what the riches of the glory of the inheritance in you. Listen, the covenant, the Ruach HaKodesh, Yahuwah's spirit in you, that's riches. It's riches untold. That's wealth untold. Yahuwah's faithful. He expects faithfulness in return. He expects obedience in return. He keeps his oath. He keeps his word, right? The riches of the glory of the inheritance, right? The eyes of understanding be enlightened, that you may know what is the hope of his calling, and what the riches of the glory of the inheritance in the saints, and what the exceeding greatness of his power towards us, who have amunah, faith, according to the working of his mighty power. All of this made possible because he raised Mashiach from the dead and set him at his own right hand in heavenly places, right? Psalms 110:1. Yahuah said unto Yahuciym, sit thou at my right hand, till make thy enemies thy footstool, and sit him in heavenly places in a Mashiach. Right. For Yahuah shall send the rod of his strength out of Zion, to rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauty of holiness, from the womb of the morning, and thou as the dew of thy youth. Yahuah hath sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever at the order of Melchizedek. Adonai at the right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathens. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. He shall drink of the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift up the head. Covenant. Undecreed manifestation of his faithfulness. Yahushua, he's seated at the right hand till Yahuah brings him to the Eretz to establish his kingdom. His word is faithful. Understand, Yahuah is faithful. He's demonstrated his faithfulness throughout the nation to Israel. It's a historical, documented account of Yahuah's relationship with a people that he is in covenant with, Israel. Not they that say they are Yahudim and are not, but are of the synagogues of Hasatan, Revelation 3 and 9. Right? But a nation of people, Hebrews. A history of his faithfulness. He is faithful, oh so faithful. Man, if y'all understand, woman, if y'all understand the faithfulness of Yahuah. Yahuah will never tell you something and not bring it to pass. Yahuah will not ever tell you things, something and not do it. It's not what Yahuah does. Yahuah's faithful. Yahuah's faithful to his word to perform it. You have to trust in his faithfulness. You have to know what it looks like. Right? You have to know what his faithfulness looks like. See, if you don't know anything about what's in this book, right? If you don't read and study this book, right, you will have no clue on what his faithfulness is. You won't even be able to recall any record, right? Because the only time he's going to ever demonstrate his faithfulness to you is at the time that you accepted his covenant. Before then, there was no faithfulness. He wasn't obligated to do anything for you. You were in the world. You were of the world. But now, because of the covenant, he is faithful. And if you don't know what that looks like, then you need to read in order to know what that looks like. You need to read and reflect on how stiff-necked our people were. From the time that they left Mitzrayim through the time they went into the promised land. From the time of the death of Joshua and the installment of judges. Yahuah had to continue to deal with the people that were stiff-necked and stubborn. But when they were committed to turn, he was faithful to deliver them out of all their troubles. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, Yahuah is faithful. He is faithful. Oh, so faithful. You were faithful. Oh, so faithful. What a privilege and an honor to worship at your throne, to be called into your presence as your own. Listen, said I've searched the heavens high, searched the earth below. There's no one. No one who speaks a word and that can keep it like you. In order to understand what that word is, you gotta read it. If you ain't born again of the water and Ruach HaKodesh, you gotta be born again of the water and Ruach HaKodesh. Yahuah's faithfulness extends to those who love him. And you don't love him if you don't keep his commandments. That's Yahuah's love language. Obey him. Man of Yah, woman Yah, called to greatness. Woman of Yahuah, beautifully wonderfully made today, she was faithful. I pray for you. Pray for you. I intercede for you. Those that are under the sound of my voice, those that Yahuah has chosen, those that have taken the time to listen to these YouTubes. I pray for you. I pray for you. And listen, if the word that Yahuah gives to you blesses you, share it with someone else. Share a Torah. Share a Basura. Give somebody else the word of life. With that I say, shalom, 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 and be blessed.
Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation.